Hi class, this week we're looking at individuals of the postbellum era. While not much research has been done on my individual, don't fret. We have lots to unpack. So, having been married at 19, I can tell you my life was just beginning. I was full of ambition, uncertainty, and there was lots of expectations, much like Miss Anna Sutherland Bissell, who met and married her husband at the age of 19 in 1866. She entered adulthood in the uncertain times of the postbellum America, which was rebuilding its identity, economy, and with a sense of purpose in the years following the Civil War. So, most women during this time were meant to spend their lives in the home, and Anna found her life elsewhere. She had gone on to become an icon, and as most of us know, she became the first female CEO. After her husband's unfortunate death in 1889, she inherited more than the home. She inherited a company at the heart of a rapidly industrializing nation. She navigated her role as an entrepreneur with prosperity, even during times which we will later discuss in depth, as Friedman termed in his article, The Crime of 1873. The Coinage Act really have placed lots of restrictions and tightened money supply, forcing entrepreneurs to adapt and vanish completely. And Miss Bissell really adapted to these hardships. So, without further ado, let's kind of look back on where Miss Bissell began. So, to understand Miss Bissell's success, we have to look at her roots. And so her roots began with her and her husband's crockery store. So they were trying to find a way to get rid of the sawdust that they had in their crockery store in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And so Melville, her husband, had created a contraption, the first carpet cleaner, to get rid of this, and it was patented in September of 1876. And the patent number is 183346 to be exact. And this was a way to make their lives easier. And what really began as a household necessity tool soon became a symbol of the postbellum ingenuity. And by 1883, they began selling this, and it really grew across the Midwest. And by then, it spread to the eastern states. And in 1897, the Broom Action trademark registration really kind of took off, and this showed the company's commitment to branding, and then the intellectual property really reflected how the 19th century market really demanded formal protection. And so, really, you do see then this growth that kind of took off by a Macy's ad that I found that appeared in the New York Times from May of 1898. And it really showed the Bissell sweeper as a modern marvel, and it proved that household labor, which was once invisible, could be industrialized and took off and commercialized in this postbellum era. I'm sorry. And so, as we go back and visit the readings from Friedman's interpretation of the Coinage Act of 1873, it really helps explain the financial backdrop of Miss Bissell's success, in my personal opinion. So, when you look at credit tightening and deflation taking hold during this time frame, you really have to look at Anna's approach, which emphasized durability, workers' loyalty, and honest marketing. And so she had to put a ton of faith into her product and really push it out because they worked with less, right? So you have deflation taking hold, and businesses had to do more work with less product or less ability. And so efficiency wasn't just about good management, it was about survival during this time. In a secondary article that I found by Forsey, he really reiterates the statement that I had mentioned about her becoming the first female CEO, and that really was through her ability to create pension plans, profit sharing, and marketing ethos, which were grounded in trust. And so she had just really reshape gender and labor expectations in the world where women rarely left their home. Um, a couple more things to touch on is that it was lore and myth that Queen Victoria had her palace bistled every week, and this was through international known or fame that was speculated. Of course, it is the 150th anniversary, and in the 125th article that I had found, it just shows the progression of the Bissell, and I really just want to highlight how amazing her journey is, and that it reminds us that the postbellum era is not just built on the industrial tycoons like the Rockefellers or the Vanderbilts in the railroad industry, but women like Anna Bissell really redefined the economic participation, like in the home and beyond. And I'm sure most of us have had a Bissell or have a Bissell in our home today. Thank you so much.